As promised, I am here in front of you to discuss the 90-day strategy in detail for the RRB ALP 2026 examination. A wonderful opportunity this time with 11,000 plus vacancies. So if you practice it well, if you prepare it well, if you strategize it well, the chances of selection are very, very high, right? Of course, we need to focus on accuracy. Of course, we need to build speed. But how do we actually do that? How to make this method completely foolproof? How do we ensure our selection is the the exact treasure, the trove of treasure which is there in this syllabus, in this session today. So by the end of this class, by the end of this video, you will be able to understand with more detail, with a better grasp or onto how you need to, what direction you need to prepare in to master the complete concept, right? So let's break it down into the process, the whole process. The whole process is broken, of course, into three sections: CBT1, CBT2 and CBAT. Now, CBT1 is the screening area. We all know that. I'm just giving you a brief, revision of this. So CBT1 is the screening area. We all know that. So speed is required, conceptual clarity is required. Just the filtering of the masses is happening here. So majority of those who are probably not very serious for the exam, or maybe are very fresh beginners who still don't know the code to crack it. Some of them might, but not all of them may. And majority of those who are just sitting for the LP for the sake of it, because this is another competitive exam, all those redundant people will be filtered out here. So your primary goal here is to prevent yourself from getting rejected. It's not about selection. Once you clarify this, you come here. This once upon a time was the sole decider, a merit decider here with a lot of weightage here, almost 70%, but now it has come down. It has 50% weightage now. But I'll tell you this also, CBT2, it will be of two parts, part A and part B. Part A consists of 50% of your final merit. Now, earlier it was 70%, but it has been brought down to 50%. Part B is also should not be taken lightly. Part B, though qualifying in nature, decides whether the part A scores will be calculated or not. That means if you secure a minimum of 35% here, only and only then will they consider your part A scores. So we'll talk about this a little more in detail by the end of the session. And then overall this is counting, and then you're going to the computer-based aptitude test, the CBAT. So earlier it was psychometric test, but now it has been modified from a lot of aspects. And now this is also 50% holder of the final merit. So now this combination actually is the main deciding factor. But these are not steps which you will ignore or take lightly, because this will decide your further game. And this is going to make sure that you're going to reach the second stage, or this is evaluated, right? So now the complete preparation plan has been devised for 90 days. Divided into three main phases or three sections. Okay, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. I have labeled the days also here. So days 1 to 45, days 46 to 75, days 76 to 90. So probably if you check it month wise, this is probably 1.5 months approximately. This is almost a month, and these are 2 weeks, half a month. So total 3 months data is here in front of you. Now the first builder phase is foundation and concept building. Again, this is assuming for those students who are starting afresh, who really want to ace it this time, who are thinking that, okay, I want to go into this zone, because this is not just any other exam of railways. This gets technical. Going ahead, this gets technical. Okay, so make sure you are actually willing to participate here. So foundation and concept building will be required, because you're not preparing for CBT1. You are directly preparing for CBT2 part A, part B also. Simultaneously, everything needs to be taken care of, because syllabus of maths and reasoning are one and the same only. General science aspect will be here in part A, in CBT1, and there we will have basic engineering. So everything needs to be, the trade practice, everything needs to be taken care of in this phase only, the building phase. So if you are conceptually weak at places, you will have to focus here. Now, if you're starting from ground zero, your foundation also needs to be covered in this section only. You'll have to pace up a bit in the early stages only. But you are at a slighter advantage if you have already done this, prepared this in the past, you have given this examination in the past, and you are just now trying to improve or trying to get better or trying to get selected at this point. but you could not be in the previous cases. Then you have a slight advantage that this portion has been taken care of. The major chunk of it has been covered already. So now this, half of this you can use to revise, to build on the concepts which you missed out in the previous cases, to learn and understand your errors. And the other half can be, merged with this section, right? So that's how you use it. You will focus 100% CBT1 core syllabus, basic engineering alignment from CBT2, right? In phase 2, we will be focusing on our speed optimization and trade integration. Here again, generally like we do in competitive exams, you're building a lot of accuracy at this stage. Once we gain that confidence that at least I can handle questions from majority of these topics with ease, is when I will focus on speed. Because the moment I start focusing on speed optimization, things will fall out of track a bit. Mock scores will deter a bit, but you don't have to get shocked or shattered here. Just continue building and you will get better with it slowly. Trade integration becomes very important at this stage. The focus is aggressive CBT2 part A and part B introduction plus mock testing. So mock testing is going on at full phase here only. It has started. So technically what we'll do is we will be dedicating all the hours in the day majorly focused on our foundation building, concept building, practice, sometimes sectional mocks maybe, but we are not yet giving full length mocks. One or two maybe we might just give for the sake of it. If we are like on the platform, if you have free mocks, go ahead, do that just to see where you're standing and how much you need to prepare more. But here is when you start giving the full length mocks. Okay. So your overall day will now be divided into two sections: preparation, speed up and mocks. Now in the third phase is absolutely the final sprint and the simulation. So like I'm saying, this is like an analogy of a marathon. Marathon means initially you are building slow movements. Okay. You have covered the major chunk, almost 50% of the marathon like this. Then here you will pace up a bit. You will check for the alignment, etc., everything. And in the end, maybe the last few meters or 500 meters are left or a kilometer is left. Kilometer is too much. Few 500 meters are left. That is when you sprint fully. Okay. So that's the idea. Now here the focus is on pure practice, biological clock alignment and error elimination. So now you're just going through whatever is done is done. You're just constantly going through mocks, analyzing and then checking your weaknesses, your strengths, balancing everything, coming back to it. Right? So this is your phase 3. Now I have given you a brief here, but we'll get into them one by one in detail. Okay. Like I told you, it's like a marathon. So every successful project begins with an exact schedule. This is what is planned. This is what needs to be done ahead. Now, laying the structural foundation. So this is your daily routine. How is it going to look like in the first phase, day 1 to 45? Slot 1 maths, slot 2 reasoning, slot 3 general science. So 2 hours each. Approximation, if you can consistently increase this further, no issue. That's very good. Do that. At this stage, do that. So 2 hours for maths, 2 hours for reasoning. This is important. You can rather make it 2.5 because you're also putting in efforts for CBT2 at this stage only. And then general science. Now here, I am also going to tell you about topics, important topics. So you will target board mass, fractions, percentages, ratio proportion, profit loss, time and work. Your main milestone is you need to move to algebra and mensuration by week 4. By week 4, that should be done. So first section by week 4 means by almost by when you are starting in the last phase of your first month ending. This is 1.5 months approximately. So that is when you will start with this topic now, algebra and mensuration. So you have built on all the basics. Now you're moving to the advanced part of it. In reasoning, your main focus is on analogies, coding, decoding, syllogism, Venn diagram, blood relation. Yes, you're targeting them at this stage because in the next stage is when we will also be targeting or towards the end of this stage, you will also be targeting on a lot of statement-based questions which are actually time consumers. So you need to clarify that right away at this stage only. Slot 3, general science, you will be focusing on NCERT-based physics and chemistry, 10th level. You will prioritize mechanics, light, reflection, refraction, electricity, magnetism, chemical reactions. Right? Now, weekend protocol. Now, this is daily routines. This is going on from Monday to, let's say, Friday or Saturday also in some cases. What are you going to do in the weekends? In the weekends, you will do 1 hour daily revision. So, whatever is being covered is constantly being revised. And you will solve at least one PYQ paper from CBT1 every weekend. So, we are not looking at full-length mock tests here, but you will solve previous year questions, papers, just to understand that whatever you're learning, how it is being placed in the exam, how it has been placed in the exam previously. So that link should be there somewhere or the other. So that is your mock practice in this case. Now in phase 2, days 46 to 75, this approximate period of a month, I would say, not exactly. So you're integrating speed and technical trade. So CBT2 focus integration stage, part A, 2 hours daily is basic science and engineering, master engineering drawing, views, projections, lines, symbols, units, measurements, mass, weight, density, levers, and simple mechanics. Okay, so this is what you are focusing on of 2 hours daily. And part B, 1.5 hours daily, relevant trade test, ITI diploma level for electrician, fitter, diesel, mechanic, etc. You're not focusing on quant and reasoning at this stage. Do you understand? So that is why I told you at this stage you can even increase it at 2.5 hours each. But the whole idea is to cover this ground completely in full detail for CBT2. Don't section it at CBT1 and CBT2. At this stage, we are not going to go for topic-wise practice of quant or topic-wise practice of reasoning. No. Now it is there integrated into our mixed practices. We are solving 2 questions of this topic, 3 of that topic. Whatever is coming our way, we are ready now. So we are just building on weaknesses at this point in this case. But now we are building on the engineering aspect of CBT2 part A. Okay, so this is the focus in this part, and also the relevant trade test. You are building it here only in this phase. This becomes also very important. Testing protocol. Now what about that? Now if you see 2 and 3.5 hours, roughly 4 hours you can give here, whereas there you were giving 6+ hours totally, plus weekend tests. Now every day only you are reducing a few hours because you are dedicating those constantly to your mock papers and mock analysis. Full length mocks will start now. So you will start at least 2 full length CBT1 mock tests every week, and you will mandate 1 full hour dedicated solely to analyzing your mistakes. Okay, even more if you can. Initially, I would suggest if you're giving a mock test of a certain time period, give at least almost 1.5 to 2 times time of it to analyze it in detail, in depth. Initially, then gradually you'll get the feel of it, so you can cut down on the time, right? So that is what we are talking about, the testing protocol phase. So this will again cover up as much time or slightly more time only, a daily time, dedicated time which is going on. So every day either you will be giving a mock, an extra mock, or you will be analyzing the mock on the next day. So that will cover your aspect. Now, part B, bottleneck, I have already told you this, that we'll be discussing this going forward. So this bottleneck is very important. Your part A merit will only be unlocked by the 35% in part B. So it is qualifying, of course, but part B 35% ensures that your part A will be evaluated. And I'm not joking, there have been cases where students have aced it, literally mastered the part A section with a very good score in their head, but they know they won't be evaluated because the trade section was not taken care of. It was taken lightly, and that is what you don't need to do. So make sure you are well versed with this section so that part A is ready for, qualifies for evaluation. This is very important. I needed to put this in between so that you are ready and you understand. Now this is practically what is going to happen, how it's going to help you. So the core concepts you're learning in phase 1 is like moving in a gear mechanism, your math, science, reasoning. Okay, this is churning out along with this movement, engineering, drawing, trade specific knowledge. So these are together functioning your exam simulation part. Okay, your technical aptitude is being developed here, your speed, accuracy, and mock test. So everything together is running this smooth system, which is actually helping you for a pure exam simulation and making you ready for the exam as much as possible. Now let's come back to phase 3. In phase 3, you are going for the full simulation and the final sprint. So you are actually aligning your body clock. Okay, actually aligning your body clock, and that makes a lot of difference. The circadian rhythm plays a very good important role here, and I think educators have been talking about this since the time you started giving your board examinations. Sit to give these previous year papers or sample papers, as we label them in that section, in the time slot where actually the exam happens, because your body needs to be habitual of sitting for that long duration in that slot only. Sometimes a lot of people, they give their mocks, etc., everything late at night, 2 a.m. at night, they'll start giving a mock, and then they'll get over with it, analyze, and then go to sleep, because they want to use that piece of the night. But actually in real life, in the morning, they're probably sluggish, but that you can't afford, because right now your shift is in the morning. So by this time, you'll be able to understand when is your shift aligned. So make sure you are giving at least 1 mock in that shift, fixed in that shift, so that your body clock is being aligned. That actually plays a crucial role. It may be a very small activity to do, but make sure you are doing that. Okay. Then at afternoon, you are looking at the error log here. So what are you doing is you are opening your error book and you're spending your afternoons revising consistently incorrect questions. You're not learning new topics. You're not going through anything new, not going for any topic wise practice. We are consistently giving mocks and we are analyzing and we are looking at what is going wrong. We have maintained an error log. We're just going through those error logs every day in the afternoon, just going through, practicing, getting to know it better, getting to understand it better, trying to work around things there, trying to identifying weaknesses from there, and revising, constantly revising at this phase. This is what it is all about. Math formulas, physics numerical concepts, engineering symbols, everything, right? And in the final week, as I told you, no complex brand new topics. We are focusing on 100% maintaining accuracy. Okay. Now, I have already discussed about it partly, but we'll repeat it once again. This is a leverage matrix, maximum return on investment topics. So for mathematics, board mass simplification will give you a good output, because whatever time you put in here, you are going to get good amount of questions, good frequency. Time and work, mensuration, data interpretation. I'm not saying the others are not important, but this is the cream of it. Okay. The constraint is that you need to take less than 1 minute per question. Okay. Because you will have that much time only. And there can be questions which might be time consuming in this case. So you need to focus accordingly. Okay. For general science, physics holds the highest leverage. So you need to master your Ohm's law. Okay. Resistance, networks, work, power, energy, numericals, lens and mirror equations. Everything should be clear at this stage. No doubts, no problems, no going back. Okay. No basic issues, no conceptual errors. Here by now, everything needs to be perfect and these topics should be mastered. Okay. For mental ability or reasoning, I would say syllogisms, of course, but this is where majority chunk of the students' times goes. Data sufficiency and statement assumption. Assumption or conclusion or whatever, critical reasoning now, I would say. It's not only focused on assumptions and conclusions anymore, but they can ask you questions from critical reasoning overall, right? Courses of action and etc. etc. So arguments. So you need to have a good balance here. And this is where you need to put in a lot of your time, because this is where in an exam you might lose track in logical reasoning. Otherwise, logical reasoning generally is going to pick you up only. So this is tricky and time consuming. Make sure you give your good input here. And basics of science and engineering for CBT2. So levers, simple machines, geometric projections, and they are the ultimate differentiators, right? So some common topics which can give you good leverage for the examination. Now, some do's and don'ts which you can take care of. So about pacing. Okay. Pacing means you're now increasing speed. You're learning to skip the proper questions. Okay. Everything in your mind, you're pushing as per the exam. So by day 45, by the end of the first phase, you should be doing that. Now you can't sit for 80 days and only focus on accuracy. That is not what you can do. Your accuracy phase is in the first phase. You've built that accuracy, you've gotten that confidence. So please don't wait till that to start testing and pacing. Okay. Respect the 1/3 negative marking. So again, as I told you, skipping is also important. Don't just blindly start answering everything here. So that can be taken, a calculated risk can be taken, but that needs to be very sure. I mean, sure means 100% surety is not available, but at least 90% plus or 85% plus is available. Then you might take that calculated risk. But if your surety is around 50%, then please don't go ahead with that. Okay. So do respect the negative marking. Do not rely on random guessing, because it destroys your normalized scores a lot. It will disrupt a lot of your scores later on. Do practice your actual numericals. Please focus on kinetics, resistance, velocity, the actual numericals. Practice the good ones, the previous year questions, etc. from the numerical section. Don't just memorize theory, of course, right? So the application base needs to be clear. Prioritize science and maths, of course. Don't spend 3 hours daily on current affairs, because they have a very minor role in CBT 1. And log every calculation mistake, forgotten formula, reviewing every Sunday. So every Sunday go through this, the log book which we already spoken about, the error log. So go through that repeatedly so that you know where you are going wrong, because consistently if you have gone wrong over something one time, your brain has a habit of pushing you in the same pit again, maybe 6 months later or a few days later, if you don't remember that. If you have put it in your conscious memory, if you have etched it in your permanent memory, then probably you'll remember that I make an error in these cases, so now I don't have to. But otherwise, if you have made an error, constantly you are bound to repeat that error unless you bring it out of your system. But in otherwise, if something you have mastered at the first go, if a question was correct in the first case, you are 99% going to always get it correct, even if it is repeated anytime later. So make sure you use this knowledge also to your benefit. And please don't just review your final mock score and move on. You need to deeply analyze it. please just don't listen to these sessions which you are conducting and just like, you know, the moment this ends, you will brush off all the knowledge and you'll move ahead. That is strictly what you're not supposed to do. Okay. Try to grasp as much as you can. And I'm not saying that blindly follow this. This is like an ideal conditioning, how you should go ahead and amalgamate this with your approach, your own approach, devise your own approach, match the two, get the best option and move ahead with that. Okay. Consistency is going to hit you and benefit you in as many ways as possible. Okay. So one thing which I want to share with you before ending this here is that Oliveboard platform. On the Oliveboard platform, you can see that the monthly plans are available. Okay, like a subscription model, 99 rupees, minimum 99 rupees per month. We are giving you subscription models and they are use case. That means how much ever time you use them for, you'll keep on paying the amount. The moment you stop using them, you don't pay anymore. So there is no formula based on the concept of validity that, okay, this is valid for only 6 months and then it will get over. No. So it's like you want to use it for 8 months, you use it for 8 months, keep paying, then you stop, it's done. Okay, I'll give you more details here about this. So click here and you can see the monthly plans. There are one-time plans also, but these one will actually benefit you in a better way. So this is the Railways Elite plan, 99 per month. That's how it starts. And this is the Railway Super Elite plan at 149 per month. Okay. So these are the inclusivities here. So in the Super Elite, you get extra units here, right? That's how you get the access instantly. And your access continues till you cancel. So this is like a subscription model and you won't find this on a lot of platforms. So go ahead and use this also for your benefit. And one more thing I would like to mention here, a lot of students which I come across, often majority of them nowadays, they are simultaneously preparing for SSC exams. Okay. If you are doing that, then for you, we have another product, which is SSC and Railways Super Elite. SSC and Railways Elite, a combo of both of them together. That means this one subscription model you go for, okay. This is a one-time subscription model with validity concept. This is not monthly. One-time subscription you go for, which is going to take care of all aspects of your all SSC exams and all aspects of your all railway exams. It's not focusing on ALP alone. It is taking care of ALP, GD, NTPC, everything there. And simultaneously here it is taking care of SSC, MTS, CPO, CHSL, CGL, everything. Based on mock tests, based on previous year papers, based on auto analysis, AI analysis, based on courses. So you can get access to everything here, right? So you can also check this feature out. So yes, that's it. So that's how the marathon will begin. So you can, as I told you, follow this clearly to have a better understanding and then fix this schedule and start adhering to it regularly. If you've watched till here, thank you so much. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and like this video and share it across platforms so that others can also benefit from these videos which we constantly churn out for the benefit of our students. Thank you so much, guys. I'll see you around in the next session. Till then, you guys take care. Bye-bye. Namaskar. Jai Hind.